At one point in time, Yeat, Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely were the leaders of the new generation, all paving the way with their own style and sounds. Even at one point in time releasing music together and performing on stage with each other. However, a couple platinum hits and a Drake feature later, Yeat was miles ahead of them, breaking into the mainstream, leaving them in the dust and taking the spotlight away from them. And for some reason, it seems like Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely and their producer got jealous of Yeat's success, so they started attacking him online. Whether it was them calling Yeat Eminem with autotune and reverb, Ken and Lone liking tweets of Lil 88 dissing Yeat, or both of their producers taking jabs at each other, it seems like something serious has gone down between the two parties. So, what relationship did Opium and Yeat have in the past? What is the reasoning for these random attacks on Yeat, and will we see this erupt into something more serious later down the line? Let's bring it all the way back to 2021, where I personally think we had one of the greatest breakthroughs of underground rappers. Yeat, Ken, Lone, Fago, and SSG Kobe. Now truthfully, it was always Yeat, Ken and Lone that had the spotlight on them to make it into the mainstream. Fago had a hype for a while, but he's been next up since the Trump administration, so we can put him to the side for the time being. In 2021, Yeat would treat us to 4 different projects. Alive, 4L, Trendy and Up To Me, with Alive being one of the most important in his career, as it was the first time you would hear Yeat experiment with the Whole Lotta Red inspired rage beats. Yeat would continue with this sound across the next 3 projects, with them all receiving major success for an underground artist, especially with the songs Sorry About That, Off the Lot, Money So Big and Money Twerk, with all 3 of them having one specific thing in common. They were all produced by the man himself, Tragic. And Tragic is important to later on in the video, as he is heavily involved in the entire beef himself. And if you don't know who he is, well, as I just stated, he produced some of the first hit songs Yeat had. Money So Big would end up going platinum and to this day still claiming its spot on Yeat's most popular section under his Spotify profile. Sorry About That would also get a gold certification. Then in the same year, Ken Carson would drop his EP Teen X Relapsed and his debut studio album Project X. Destroy Lonely would also be announced as the newest Opium member that year, with him dropping a handful of singles that year such as Hold My Hand, Kyoto and I Love You So Much to tease fans for his upcoming debut studio album No Stylist. As we can see, 2021 was a breakthrough year for all of them. However, Yeat was always significantly bigger than them, which was predominantly due to him being easier to market and also due to his viral TikTok songs. This caused Yeat to grab the attention of arguably hip-hop's biggest artist, Drake, who would invite Yeat out to a party where they would take one of the most iconic pictures in Yeat's career. Now at this point in time, Yeat fans and underground listeners in general were going crazy. Seeing Yeat, who had only gained popularity just a couple months ago, getting a cosign from one of the biggest guys in the game was insane. And truthfully, wasn't really on the same level Ken and Lone were on. Of course, Ken and Lone were pushed by Carti himself, by either putting them in music videos or letting them produce on the album, but it wasn't a level playing field with the timing Yeat was on. Before we move into 2022, in the October of 2021, Yeat would take to his Instagram story to tease a collab with him and Ken, where he would post "Who ready for this me x Ken?" suggesting they have music together dropping soon. Just a month later in November, we would see Yeat and Ken collab for the first time, as Yeat would preview the song Pull Up, featuring Ken on an Instagram live. Which would eventually become a very highly anticipated snippet as Ken would start previewing the song himself.
We got sticks, pull up, bitch. Ball like this, pull up, bitch. I got legs, pull up, bitch. Let's do my fucking drill.
However, it would unfortunately never be released, but Ken would perform the song live multiple times, and it would eventually leak later down the line. Anyways, we would actually see Yeat, Ken and Lone together for the first time, as Ken was opening for Yeat's To Alive tour on the 21st of April in 2022 in Atlanta, which was following the release of his second studio album To Alive, that debuted at number 6 on the Billboard 200 albums chart and sold an immense 35,000 album equivalent units first week. Fun fact, this tour stop in Atlanta was at the same show September's Rich threw a baby tantrum, called the crowd dead, dropped the mic and stormed off stage.
Right now, these niggas so fucking dead. Don't start that bullshit, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, nigga. Shut the fuck up. Alright man, watch this.
which played a big factor in him being one of the most hated artists within the underground, and another iconic moment in the history of Yeat. After set stormed off, Yeat would then come out on stage with Ken, opening their show with the collaborative song Geek High from Yeat's 2 Alive album, released in the February of that year. On stage with them would also be Tragic and Lone, where all 4 of them would be just dancing along with everyone else. The trio would be then seen together again after Icebox uploaded a video of them shopping for jewellery, which I'm presuming was taken around the same time as this tour stop. Then in the summer of 2022, Ken would drop his second studio album X, executively produced by Playboi Carti, debuting at the 115th spot on the Billboard 200 albums chart. Then Lone dropped his highly anticipated, long awaited, debut studio album No Stylist. Sorry to interrupt the video, but if you're enjoying so far, I'd appreciate if you could subscribe, like and comment. I'm trying to get to 30k subs ASAP, so I'd appreciate that. Let's get back to the video. As we wrap up 2022, we can see Yeat and Ken would be relatively good friends, performing together, shopping together, and making music together. I don't know what Yeat's relationship with Destroy Lonely would be back then, but I doubt they had any issues, which makes things even more confusing later down the line. And even fans were questioning if Yeat and Lone were friends, as they were 2 very prominent and exciting artists in the underground who fans wanted to see make music together. However, no one really knew if they had collaborated. Now within the underground at the time, or even in this purgatory stage these 3 were in, with the fact that they're not exactly underground nor really mainstream, they were all their own competition, as no one had hype like they did, which I personally think was a big factor in this beef that erupted later on. Now as we move into late 2022 and 2023, we wouldn't really see or hear anything about Yeat collaborating with the Opium duo at all. They would all continue dropping solo projects and climbing their way up in the industry. Yeat would be landing collaborations with Young Thug, Gunna, Lil Uzi Vert, NBA Youngboy, and his #1 charting hit with Drake, I Don't Give a Fuck, whilst Ken and Lone would only really work with each other and Homicide Gang. Ken did have Lil Uzi Vert on A Great Chaos and did produce X2 on Pink Tape. Now before Yeat dropped 2093 and 2024, Yeat's highest selling album was Afterlife, selling 55,000 album units first week, which compared to Ken's highest selling album A Great Chaos with 49,000 first week, and Destroy Lonely's If Looks Could Kill selling 29,000 first week, it's very clear and obvious Yeat's only competition were only Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely, which will explain a lot as we now move into 2024, where the beef would start brewing. On the 16th of February in 2024, Yeat would release his 4th studio album, 2093. Now this album had huge anticipation. It was supposed to be the one that launches him into the top of the industry, with suspected collaborations from Drake and Childish Gambino. But after its release, a lot of fans were disappointed. Many fans stated that the project didn't have the raw energy like his previous projects, many songs sounded too similar to one another, and overall just lacked hits like Yeat used to make. The album still performed well though, especially as Yeat dropped a part 2 of the album with 2 additional songs, As We Speak featuring Drake and Never Quit. Yeat would then deliver part 3 where he dropped a bundle of exclusive songs fans could buy on his website for $13, which was kind of a hack to get his album sales to be higher. The album ended up debuting at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 200 albums chart, selling 70,000 units first week. So even though it still performed well, it didn't hide the fact that a lot of Yeat fans were disappointed, and the fanbase was even split in half, almost at war with each other, which was really the first time in Yeat's career we saw him take such a big L. Now as Yeat was down, it seemed like his competition, Ken and Lone, wanted to seize this opportunity and deliver the final blow to his career, which Bob Balaam explained very well.
I personally think it's because now that, Yeat had his run, but now that he is a little bit vulnerable because people weren't messing with 2093, and so now the bigger people who are like in competition with him, they come in with the last final blow like it's Mortal Kombat, doing some all sorts of like fucking X circle triangle combos. Finish him. And they're trying to take him out.
It would all start with the rollout of Destroy Lonely's album Love Lasts Forever, where him and Lil 88 will be pushing this Black America branding, with Lil 88 also announcing he will be executively producing the entire project. Now after being given this role, it seemed like Lil 88 was getting a little too big for his boots, as on the 9th of April this year he would tweet, "Stop comparing my partners to this Eminem with autotune and reverb," which of course is directly aimed at Yeat. And you might be asking, how do you know it's aimed at him? Well, my partners is referring to Ken and Lone as they're all close friends and part of the Opium squadron. Then Eminem is him referring to a white rapper that Ken and Lone are competing with. So of course, it's Yeat. Lil 88 would then go on to like a fan's reply, which read, "Bro trying to get his urban fans back after a year of dressing like a futuristic cowboy. Y'all can keep it." Which is him poking fun at Yeat with the fact that he's gone from dressing like a thug to this futuristic 2093 cyberpunk style. And now that his fans aren't really liking it, he's trying to revert back, almost making him look desperate. The post this reply was under was Underground Sound, which is a well-known underground meme page which posted, "Yeat is attempting to regain aura with his recent Instagram stories," which again is him making fun of Yeat that he's trying to bring back the entire geeker gimmick. And Lil 88 would keep going, as he would tweet lyrics from Ken Carson's Me and My Cup. "I don't fuck with these fellas like they got a disease," with it of course being only aimed at one man, Yeat, and the fact that Lil 88 and his group don't mess with him anymore. So now at this point in time, fans are kind of confused. First of all, why is this not really liked nor well-known producer wilding out on Twitter? And at first, fans thought he was just sabotaging Opium's relationship with Yeat for no apparent reason, as throughout the years, as I just showed you in the video, they were all cool. Well, if we look further into Lil 88 replies on Twitter, it seemed like the whole thing could have just been for promo, as he would also be seen teasing the release date for Destroy Lonely's Love Lasts Forever project by tweeting April 2nd? So, okay, it's just this Opium producer wilding out on Twitter. Well, no, things will quickly turn very serious, as Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely themselves would like the cryptic tweet from Lil 88, where he was quoting lyrics from Me and My Cup. So it seemed like the Opium twins were in on it too, and things were about to get serious, and they would. Lil 88 would then send more shots at Yeat, after the underground news page Bobalam made an Instagram post about all this Twitter warfare, where a fan would comment, "He," in reference to Yeat, "not gonna respond cause he can't effing rap and don't know about hip hop, he a effing guest." And Lil 88 would like this post, which brought more attention to the entire beef. So before we get into Yeat's response to all of this, why is Opium actually coming at Yeat? Well, there is no clear answer, but I'll go over some theories. Firstly, the most not true one would probably be when Bobalam came out on stream and stated Ken Carson was mad at Yeat that he leaked their collab Pull Up, as apparently his part wasn't finished and his vocals sounded off, which supposedly Ken took as Yeat trying to degrade his musical ability to the public.
So allegedly, you know that Yeat and Ken Carson leak, Ken and Yeat Pull Up. So apparently the beef is when Yeat leaked it or whatever, made an exclusive, Ken feels like he left a bad mix or bad verse from Ken on that leak and kind of like made it so he was the better verse or whatever, so he bodied him, you know what I mean? So that's where it all started. I don't know, like, you know how they've been beefing a lot? Yeah. So that's why.
Now, if you read the comments to this clip on YouTube, fans were quick to disprove it, especially with the fact that it wasn't an exclusive leak by Yeat or anything, it just happened to leak. And why would a random leak annoy Ken Carson so much to the point he's going to start an entire beef with one of his supposed friends? It would be silly and make him look immature. Then the second theory is Ken and Lone want this beef, firstly to create hype for Lone's album Love Lasts Forever and Ken's Deluxe More Chaos. But they just got Lil 88 to instigate it, so they don't look like the bad guys. Especially that Lone and Lil 88 are pushing this Black America image, that they are the minority getting rich, famous and successful, so they're trying to take down their competition, the white Eminem sounding guy, Yeat, who of course is not black and does not fit in the motto they are pushing. Then what also plays a part is the Drake versus the entire industry beef. Recently, Carti and Lil 88 were both featured on Metro Boomin's and Future's collab tape, which played a part in the entire hip hop war going on right now. And of course, Yeat would be presumably on Drake's side, as he has multiple songs with him and was even spotting wearing an OVO chain in an Instagram post. So that beef in itself played a factor in them starting the attack on Yeat. So to sum it up, Opium wants to F up Yeat because he's a white guy and is the only guy in their generation pulling better numbers than them. So now it's time for Yeat to bite back. Just the day after Opium was going in on him on Twitter, Yeat saw that his position at the top was under attack and that people were playing with his name. So to prove to everyone who the GOAT is, he would announce on his Instagram story that he is dropping 2 albums this year. 2 albums this year, just to show you who the what. #LS, #ADL, which stands for Lifestyle and The Dangerous Life, with those being the names of the 2 albums he's dropping this year. So it seems like Yeat is only dropping these albums just to prove to everyone he's him. Meaning in total in 2024, he would be dropping 3 albums, including 2093. Now if Yeat does go ahead with this, it could really show everyone and these Opium guys who really is at the top. But Yeat wasn't done there. He wasn't just going to talk the talk on the net. He would then go on to preview a new snippet titled King Tonka, where he just went in over this insane rage beat with the caption King Tonka Geek Lifestyle Geek and Geek 2, basically announcing to everyone the oldie is back. He would also preview a new snippet called Scary, which fans thought was a diss at Opium, as not only was it previewed a day after all this Twitter stuff, but also due to the lyrics. I'm a god compared to you, a little ass shrimp, I'm a barracuda, it's an embarrassing comparison, which is Yeat standing his ground that he is a simply bigger artist than Ken and Lone. I mean, I showed you guys the album sales earlier on. Ken and Lone aren't near pulling the same numbers as Yeat. Yeat would then go on an Instagram live where he would preview a snippet, Shut Up. Now that wasn't the important part. Fans noticed that during the live, Yeat had shown the table in front of him, which had a debit card, a rolled up bill, and lots of sugary powder on the table, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Meaning, he's back on the substances. And it seemed like Lil 88 saw this and started making fun of him on Twitter, as he would tweet a SoundCloud link to a Young Thug song titled Snort You a Line, which was literally posted minutes after Yeat went on that Instagram live with the sugary powder on the table. So it's obvious it's aimed at Yeat. A fan would reply to Lil 88's tweet saying, you a fan, Lemfao, you saying he ain't acknowledging shh, and now you're trying to drag it on to get a reaction. Basically saying that Lil 88 keeps on dragging this beef on. I mean, if you even want to call it a beef, since it's very one-sided. Another fan would reply and defend Lil 88 saying, he just posted a Young Thug song, gang, what does this have to do with Yeat? Which is when Lil 88 would quote, saying, right? And I'm just like, come on man, this producer is clearly trying to create beef to bring attention to Destroy Lonely's album. Then he's going to act like he has no idea what's going on. If you're going to start stuff and diss people, at least stand your ground when they confront you. Under this quote tweet from Lil 88, Yeat and Opium fans would continue arguing though. Lil 88 mad most of the artists he produced for can't top Yeat's monthly listeners, which is the fans saying that the people Lil 88 produces for, Ken and Lone, aren't pulling the same numbers as Yeat, which is when a fan would reply with, he be producing from MFers that have 2 times Yeat's numbers, stop being delusional, as Lil 88 managed to get a placement on the song Beano from Whole Lotta Red, meaning he had produced for Carti, which Lil 88 would retweet, which was another diss to Yeat. So before we move on to the further beef between Lil 88 and this time Yeat's producer Tragic, we can see that Opium's plan has kind of worked, as now the Yeat and Opium fan bases were split. Beforehand, the Yeat and Opium community basically coexisted, and everyone was just supporting this new wave of rappers. But now all this Twitter beef has split them in half, which works in Opium's favour. Now Lil 88 would continue with this Twitter standoff after he posted DMs with Yeat's producer, I mentioned before, Tragic, where Tragic said, fella, your song isn't platinum, I'm plat on my own. Which is Tragic referencing him and Yeat going platinum with the song Money So Big. And Tragic would also point out the fact he did it on his own, whereas the majority of placements Lil 88 has are co-produced with 2 or 3 additional producers on the track with him, with a lot of the times it being Starboy and Out of Town doing all the work. I even saw this funny tweet on Twitter and it was like, all Lil 88 did was add the 808 Mafia tag to the start of the beat. Anyways, so Lil 88 would post these DMs with the caption, fella's been hating on the kid in the shadows, but when I pop out in the light, I'm the villain, huh? And guys, I'll be real, he's just yapping. He's making it seem like Tragic is hating and flexing on him for no reason, when in fact this entire time Lil 88 has been dissing his brother publicly. And Tragic even kept all this stuff off social media and just messaged Lil 88 privately, but it's him who is now deciding to do all this stuff on Twitter, which is just cringe. Lil 88 would then share more messages between him and Tragic, which read, if your uncle wasn't TM, you wouldn't be here, lil boy, which is Tragic referencing the fact Lil 88's uncle is TM88, who is a well-known producer with huge placements and in the group 808 Mafia, somewhat calling Lil 88 a nepo baby, or basically saying without TM88 his uncle, he wouldn't be getting all these placements and connections. songs. Lil 88 will then show another message from Tragic which read, "Tell someone to help you get some placements, bro." And it seemed like Tragic was sick of Lil 88, so he decided to post some comments on his story. Fella could be on the biggest album of the year and somehow they still bring you up. Put a name on it, let the fans know how you commented on my page thinking you're on your Finsta. So it seemed like Tragic is accusing Lil 88 of commenting on his post without realizing he was on his main account, which is some fanboy stuff, I can't lie. Tragic would post another story saying, "Or how I personally DM'd you first like a man and you ducked my calls. I'm not with this internet I hate I even have to do this, but I refuse to look like a hater when that ain't the truth." And Tragic has a point. If Lil 88 actually has something against Yeat or Tragic, sort it out between yourselves. Why are you making it public on Twitter in front of everyone? But from then on, things would be kept relatively quiet and it seemed like the entire beef kind of died down. Again, if you even want to call it that, because it's just Opium attacking Yeat for no reason. But Yeat will drop a 2-pack on the 3rd of May, containing songs King Tonka and Heavy Stunts with Don Toliver. In none of these songs did Yeat address the beef directly, however, some of the lines could have been potentially aimed at the dispute going on right now. In the song Heavy Stunts, Yeat says the lines, "And I won't talk 'em, I'm going bray, I'm going cray. B, I'm the one, I'm not the two, I'm not the three. Like the check when it bounced, leaving it when it in. How you gonna talk to me?" Where he is stating that he's the biggest out of the artists in his generation and that Ken Unknown can't even talk to him because he is so much bigger than them. And this 2-pack actually stirred up more arguments between the Yeat and Opium communities. As recently, Ken Carson dropped his highly anticipated single, Overseas, which gained 1.2 million streams on its first day and debuted at number 79 on the Billboard Hot 100. Now there was some talk about this being botted due to the surprisingly high streams, however it was a grail for the Opium fans, so no one is really sure if the numbers were legit. Now in the 2-pack Yeat dropped, none of the songs charted on Billboard and didn't even break 1 million streams each. And actually with the image I'm showing on screen now, I found after I'm recorded the video, but King Tonga did not chart on Spotify at all, which obviously is very low. If Ken Carson's singles are reaching on Billboard, and Yeat is not charting on Spotify, which is way easier to do. So Opium fans started comparing numbers with Yeat. And as we conclude this beef, you can see Opium's plans work. They have managed to split the community in half and are now even somehow competing with Yeat's numbers. Because truthfully beforehand, Yeat was treated by all these underground listeners as the top dog that is going mainstream. And Ken alone with a little cool Opium guy, signed to Carti, you know, they were always cheered on every little milestone they achieved. But now it's a full-fledged war and they are trying to compete and overtake Yeat. And it seems like the overall agenda has changed. So to wrap up this video, we don't know the true reason why this entire beef started. However, hopefully from the stuff I went through and some of the theories I spoke on in this video, you have been able to make your own conclusion. And now as fans, all we can do is wait and see how things turn out. Maybe once Ken and Lone drop their next project, they will potentially start taking over Yeat if Yeat doesn't regain his old fans back after dropping 2093. 2093 sold 70,000 first week and debuted at number 2, and Ken and Lone would have to beat that, which is really high. A Great Chaos sold 49,000, which is surprisingly high considering none of the songs charted on Billboard, and does seem slightly suspicious, I'll be honest. Then Destroy Lonely did sell 27,000k, but that was with 26 songs, which again was insanely high. I really doubt personally Ken Unknown would be able to overtake Yeat, simply because when Yeat was in his prime, he was dropping TikTok bangers every week. Like, this guy has multiple platinum and gold hits. I think Ken's Yale went gold so far, but that's about it. Just these Opium guys, their sound is too niche and they don't have that hit factor. They have a core fan base, but don't have the hit making ability Yeat has. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Ken and Lone have the potential to overtake Yeat? Do you guys think we will ever get to hear Opium and Yeat collab ever again? And should have Opium started this beef in the first place?